How's it going, everybody? It is I, Vizually. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle versus Laflare over here in the O tier. So, the team I'm using is in the description if you do want to try it out, and also if you do enjoy these, make sure to leave a like on it. So the team is going to be Landorus T, made by CTC. It's Choice Scarf Landorus T, and also Laflare God is also using a team I think I have. It's made by Band This, Band That, and I don't know if I used it before, but it's a Trick Room team. He got screens on his Meowstic with Prankster. I'm just going to U-turn on out into my Diancie as I can, just Mega Evolve, maybe get my Stealth Rocks up, and just kind of whittle down the Meowstic a little bit as well. So he's going to get his screens up, that's fine. It's a pretty dangerous Trick Room team because it has Hoopa Unbound with Victini. Like, it's not a normal Trick Room team. Most of the time you would see just like Magearna with Mega Mawile. I mean, he has Mega Mawile as well, but maybe Crawdon as well, a little Marowak. This is a little different because he has screens, and those kind of Trick Room teams don't have that. So he does get the Trick Room off right there. He got his screens up with his Light Clay, Meowstic, and in comes the Necrozma, and that's also a scary Pokemon. I do just go for the Earth Power, does absolutely nothing, and I'm going to try and play around this Necrozma because I know it has Photon Geyser, Heat Wave, and Earth Power. So first I go into Magearna. Magearna is going to be pivot number 1 over here with Assault Vest. I'm going to do a lot of switching because I try to waste the turns of Trick Room, and I'm going to try and waste the turns of the screens as well, just so I can at least do some type of damage to his Pokemon. So I go into Tornadus over here as I predict maybe an Earth Power. If he goes for Heat Wave, I could take that as well. So yeah, I just go into Magearna now. He went for Heat Wave. Luckily I missed. I mean, I could have Regenerator and regenerate that back, but still it's damage. So Trick Room ends right there as Magearna came out. I'm just going to go for a Flare Cannon, do as much damage as possible because I'm pretty sure Necrozma's going to go for Trick Room. All the Pokemon on his team can kind of Trick Room, so that's why it's better to just attack instead of just switching it. Magearna out, predicting him to maybe want to go for an Earth Power Heat Wave because he definitely wants to Trick Room up. So I'm going to go into Tornadus again. He makes a nice call right there, going for the Photon Geyser, predicting me to probably want to switch into Tornadus. And he's getting pretty low because since he's Life Orb, he's chipping away his HP. So I could still kind of keep my Tornadus with Regenerator as well, maybe keep it for later and do something. And yeah, go into Mega Diancie as I'm able to take that Photon Geyser. Luckily he didn't go for Earth Power, predicting me to switch, which Photon Geyser hits everything on my team pretty dang hard, so I wouldn't put it past him to try and predict Mega Diancie there. And finally I go into Magearna as he goes for Earth Power. Luckily Magearna does live that, as Soul Vest, max special defense. Magearna, what do you expect? It lives pretty much anything that's special attack. So anyways, in comes Victini. I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch. Victini is most likely going to go for the Trick Room, so might as well just attack it and get some switch initiative, as I didn't expect it to go for Bolt Strike right there. I was faster too, so Victini is running like 0 speed, 0 IVs I'm guessing. And luckily Araquid did take that Bolt Strike right there. So I'm thinking Araquid is going to be slower than a Victini. Unfortunately Araquid is really slow, so I'm going to switch out into Landorus C. And even if he did go for Trick Room, I should be able to live anything Victini wants to go for, unless it's Glaciate, but I highly doubt it, and I already have the team, so I kind of knew it's not Glaciate. So I do take that V-Crate. I intimidated him as well, and I'm just going to knock him out with that Earthquake right there. So I am locked into Earthquake, and he can pretty much just play around that. I think the Stack Attack I had Air Balloon, I'm pretty sure. But it doesn't matter. He goes into Meowstic, if I remember correctly. There is a team with Stack Attack with Air Balloon, so it can really take advantage of Choice Scarf Landorus's. So he goes for Yawn as I just go for Earthquake. Earthquake was my best play because, if he goes for Screens, Trick Room, at least I get some type of damage. Like, whenever you predict your opponent to go for Trick Room, it's always best to try and put yourself in a position where maybe you can stop his incoming Trick Roomers, or if you just want to attack the Pokemon and knock it out, that's also good, even if you're going to take a lot of damage. So in came Mega Mawile. I don't really have a too good switching, so I just decided to go into Tornadus as kind of a sack, but he just Swords Danced up, so I get a nice Heat Wave off over here, putting it in range of probably any of my other attacks with my Pokemon, and he's going to take Rock Helmet Chip as well right there. Luckily he didn't Sucker Punch me, maybe expecting me to switch or something like that, but it did not work out for him. So I go into Landorus C, hoping that he doesn't have Sucker Punch because he has Iron Head and Swords Dance, but he does pack the Sucker Punch and is able to knock out my Landorus C, which is running a lot of bulk. It's like almost max HP and a lot of defense. Choice Scarf, really bulky Lando. And now I'm just bringing Gyarados, and Gyarados is easily gonna live a plus 1 Sucker Punch, and I can knock him out with the Waterfall, and Hoop Unbound is not going to outspeed Gyarados, and I can just easily Fly and even Z this and knock this cleanly out. And with Stealth Rocks up, even if you're Focus Sash, it does not matter. So if he was Focus Sash and I didn't have Stealth Rocks up, that could be pretty bad because my team is pretty weakened, and once the Trick Room is up, it can go in Hoop Unbound, especially since I lost my Landorus T where I can intimidate it. But luckily that's not the case. So last Monostack Taka, is it Air Balloon? I forget. No, it's not Air Balloon. Okay, he would have brought it on the Landorus T, most likely, predicting me to be Choice Scarf Landorus T. And plus, even if it wasn't, if he was Air Balloon, what else am I going to go for? Stone Edge, U-Turn. Like Stack Attack, you can take anything with the Air Balloon up. So yeah. Oh, I lost all Super Power Landorus T, but nobody runs that. So that's going to be the game versus Laflare. GG to him. And next up we got is going to be Damien, and he has a pretty interesting team. Some nice pivots though. We got Rotom Wash, Slowking, and Incineroar. They're not bad pivots. Slowking probably a Soul Vest, Incineroar maybe Ipapa, and then Rotom Wash most likely just bulky leftovers, and then you got a random Leafy on there, and a Mega Lopunny most likely, and then a Staraptor, which is probably just Choice Scarf. So gonna lead off with Landorus T. It's probably the best lead for me as I could just U-turn on out. You already know Choice Scarf, Landorus T, just U-turns on everything pretty much, but you can capitalize on that and maybe put yourself in a better position predicting that. So he leads off with his Staraptor, and I'm pretty sure that's Choice Scarf since it outsped me, and he goes for the U-turn and brings in Slowking, which is fine. He does have the Regenerator and he can take any hit and just switch out. That's what Slowkings and Slowbros do. They just kind of sit there, take any hit, maybe throw off the Scald or an Ice Beam or a Toxic, and then switch out. So I bring in a Araquanid. It is Choice Banded Araquanid, and we do pack these Sticky Webs on there, and I'm just going to get the Sticky Webs right up just in case, you know, Lopunny becomes a danger. Maybe Sunny Day Leafeon, I don't know. Sunny Day Incineroar. That could be a little bit of scary. So since I'm Choice Banded, I can't really do anything else. I'm locked into Sticky Web, so I'm going to switch out into my Landorus T as I'm able to intimidate the Raptor, and since I'm running a lot of bulk, I should be able to take a hit or two. So yeah, I'm able to take that Brave Bird. He probably 2-KOs a non-defensive Choice Scarf Landorus T though, since Raptors are just insanely bulky. Not insanely bulky, insanely powerful. So anyways, in came the Slowking as I just go for another U-turn. I doubt he's going to stay in and go for a Brave Bird. If he does good play, I'll just go into Deante and take advantage of that. But I bring in Tornadus, and I'm just going to go for the knockoff as I can get rid of a Slowking's item, as it turns out to be a Soul Vest. So I kind of expected that. Most Slowkings are Soul Vests. So even though it's not the greatest, especially because there's a lot of special attackers in the OU tier that can really just dish out some hard-hitting moves against Slowking, like Blacephalon, Greninja, Tapu Koko, like you name it. So, and there's a lot of knockoffers, so that's why you don't really see those slow Slowkings. Slow Pokemon in general, like Slowking Regenerator. Unless you're a Tangrowth, you can take a hit. So, anyways, because Tangrowth, you know, can switch in on all those special attacks, except for Blacephalon. Well, depends on the Blacephalon. But either way, he went for Confuse Ray with his Rotom Wash, and that was pretty weird. You don't ever see that too much. It doesn't really matter either way. I just wanted to hit him with a Moonblast, and it worked out for me, because looking at it, I didn't really have to go switching to Rotom Wash, except for Magearna. So, and I don't want Magearna to, you know, get whittled down. Maybe he would just predict me to switch out, and he'd go for a Volt Switch or whatever. So then came Leafeon. I can't knock this out with anything. Maybe a little bit more chip I can. And it actually turns out to be Sunny Day Leafeon, which is funny. Okay, yes, that Chlorophyll boost, which is totally fine because Tornadus should be able to take anything Leafeon wants to go for, unless he's gonna be, I don't know, Breakneck Blitz, Giga Impact. That could be a thing. But turns out I'm faster than him, so I'm guessing maybe he's like running at not a lot of speed. Maybe he's adamant, not a lot of speed, maybe a lot of HP. I don't know. But Chlorophyll does boost your speed by 2. Maybe he's not Chlorophyll. I don't know. But in came Incineroar, just going to go for the knockoff and, you know, take that Rocky Helmet chip. Unfortunately, I am going to, you know, not be able to do anything against this. So I'm going to go for another Hurricane, and unfortunately I missed. It's to be expected because it's in Sun, and it's only 50% accuracy. At least the Incineroar is getting whittled down, and honestly this game didn't really look that challenging because, you know, not a lot of OU Pokemon, so I can kind of just like switch around with my Regenerator, Tornadus, and hit him hard. So I got my webs up, and Lopunny is not going to be that dangerous as well, unless he is going to be Defox to Raptor. In came the Incineroar again. I could easily just, you know, Maybe switch out if I want to, go for a Hurricane here and there. I do go for Hurricane, but it's not hitting. You know, I'm trying my luck. I'm kind of even trying to sack my Tornadus at this point. It's just not doing well. So, gonna switch out into DNC, as DNC should be able to take any kind of hit that Incineroar wants to go for. And also, surprised me he had Fake Outs. So, I mean, at least took a little bit of chip from Rocky Helmet with that Tornadus. In came the Slowking, which does not matter because you lost your Soul Vest, and it is not going to appreciate these special attacks from DNC. I mean, it does take that Earth Power, but it's not going to take a move left, so down goes the Slacking right there. No, Slacking, Slowking. Imagine using Slacking. Slacking, I ran into that with Coffergugus with Pursuits on the Slacking and trying to get that Mummy. It's actually dangerous, and I had Flame Orb and Slack Off. I need to use that. Anyways, in came Staraptor, goes for the close combat. It's not going to be enough to knock out Mega Diancie, and I can just knock him out with the Moonblast, and Mega Diancie is just going in now, because with Sticky Webs up, it is not pretty for a team that doesn't have something that has priority, or, you know, to get rid of the webs. And Incineroar is going to go down to the Earth Power. Well, I mean, he fakes out me first. At least he's trying. You know, he's Life Orb. He has some offensive pressure with his Incineroar, but you know, I do resist normal, and it's just not enough, so down it goes. He does have Lopunny too with Fake Out, most likely, and he's just trying to get rid of DNC with that. I mean, you know, what else can he do? Don't put it past him. He's still trying. Like, maybe if he gets some critical hits with Fake Out, he can't, but other than that, you probably need a Defogger on your team, because with Sticky Webs up, you're not going to be outspeeding Mega DNC. Unless Staraptor weakened my DNC, like if you weaken DNC with anything else, and Staraptor can knock me out with close combat, maybe. Because my team is pretty weak to Staraptor if Magearna and DNC get weakened. But Landorus is always a pivot, Tornadus is always a pivot, you take Rocky Helmet chips, so it's not the best. So yeah. Next up we got is versus Joey Fontaine. Oh, okay. Not bad. Joey Fontaine looking at his team, we got Mega Pinsir, we got the pivots, Tangrowth, probably Lando, and Heatran, probably Rocker, Heatran, and then Keldeo. Most likely going to be a Z move. Most Keldeos are Z move for leftovers. Like, what else would be the Z mover? Maybe Lele, I don't know, we'll see. So, yeah. Pretty much standard on both our sides, except for Rakutid. Rakutid is not a standard Pokemon you see too much in OU, but other than that, yeah. Lead off with Tornadus, as Tornadus matches up well versus team. I would say I can knock off the top of Lele, probably live any hit, unless he's Psychic Z, which I hope he's not. And I can knock off pretty much a lot of Pokemon. So, in came Lando, get rid of that leftovers, which is pretty good for me. Takes that Rocky Helmet chip as well, so Landorus is already getting whittled down, putting it in range of maybe a Moonblast from Diancie, which is always awesome. Or a Gyarados. I mean, Gyarados doesn't really need chip. It can just Dragon Dance up and Waterfall it. So, I brought in Diancie on the Heatran. I was pretty much expecting it to probably get up Stealth Rocks, and I can threaten out the Heatran with an Earth Power, so kind of predict that, and I want to predict the Tangrowth to want to come in. Like, what else would he switch in on the Diancie? Probably the Tangrowth, which is most likely a Soul Vest. Unless he's running, you know, a defensive Tangrowth. So I go for the Moonblast. Most Heatran don't have Flash Cannon, so that's why I do that. Unless you run into a Steelium Z Heatran, then it could be a problem for the DNC. But most of the time, they are scared of Earth Power, so they'll switch out. So I go and Tornadus out on the Tangrowth. I don't want to take a Giga Drain, and he takes some nice Rocky Helmet chip right there, as he knocks off my Rocky Helmet. So, did he take chip? I don't know, I forget. I just saw it. So I go for a knockoff again, as in came Heatran. I get rid of those leftovers. So nice, we get rid of all his little leftovers. No more apples for his Pokemon. Gonna bring in Landorus as a pivot to his Heatran. I should be able to live anything, especially because he's leftovers and not Z move or anything like that. Unfortunately, he does critical hit me with that Magma Storm, and it is gonna knock out my Landorus. So down goes my Lando, which kind of sucks, since I could have maybe scared out his Heatran with an Earthquake. You know, U-turn, gain some more momentum right there. Oh well, I would have lived the Magma Storm, you know, if I didn't get crit, but I get to bring a Mega Dance over here. I'm going to go for Stealth Rocks, as I might as well get him up, since he's going to be switching around, and I'm not going to be defogging anytime soon, since my defogger is Landorus T, so yeah. I do predict him to want to go into Tangrowth again, so I do go for the Moonblast right here, as it's able to actually two-shot the Tangrowth, which is really, really good. It's important to do that because he is forced to switch out. If you lose the Tangrowth, it's not going to be pretty versus Mega Diancie, that's for sure. He does bring in Heatran again, which is a nice play, predicting Moonblast there, but it's still risking Earth Power. But he goes for Protect, kind of scouting to see where my head is at, you know, if I'm going to go for Earth Power or not, which at this point I'm like, alright, I'm just going to go for Earth Power. Let's see if he's going to stay in this time and go for Earth Power of his own, because most Heatran do have Earth Power. Maybe he doesn't, but most likely he does, because he has Magma Storm. So he goes into Tangrowth again. Still pretty low, the Tangrowth, which is good for me, but I'm scared of it not getting knocked out by Moonblast, so I'm going to just make the safe call and go into Tornadus. Unless he's going to be like Rock Slide Tangrowth, pretty much good to go. And he has to like critical or something to knock out Torn from the range I'm at with Rock Slide. So I'm going to go into Araquanid over here, as Araquanid should be able to take advantage of the Heatran incoming. Heatran can't really go for a move that can knock me out. You don't really see Stone Edge Heatran anymore, and even if it did, it has to be running a lot of attack to knock me out. So I'm able to get Sticky Webs off and just slow down his team, slow down that Keldeo. If it's Scarf Lele out, it's slowed down as well. And yeah, I'm just going to get the heck out of there with my Araquanid, as I'm locked into Sticky Webs because I'm Choice Banded, and might as well just go into Tornadus, as he actually goes for Substitute. So maybe I was locked into it. I mean, if I wasn't, I would have just went for a Liquidation, because I'm not scared of Keldeo with Araquanid. And what is Keldeo going to do? I guess Calm Mind up at Secret Sword. That could do a decent chunk, because Araquanid doesn't have the best defense, but still. Turns out he's Z-move, and then I went back into Araquanid because I was like, yeah, I'm Banded. I can just go for Liquidations and just break a Substitute and do so much damage to him. Turns out he is Z-move and puts me in range of a Secret Sword, so that kind of stinks. I was thinking like maybe he'd be like Calm Minding at that point. Kind of lucky he didn't though, because if he Calm Minded, he would have one-shot me. Either way, it doesn't matter, because he still knocks me out. It just would have been a little bit tougher because he would be at +1 special attack and special defense. So he would do a lot more to the Magearna coming in over here, because I am going to break a Substitute with the Volt Switch. So that's why Magearna is a nice pivot, and breaking Substitutes and just getting the heck out of there and able to bring in something that can threaten the Keldeo, which is going to be my Tornadus. And Tornadus is hopefully going to hit a Hurricane. I should be able to live anything Tornadus, the Keldeo wants to go for in my Tornadus, because I am max HP on the Torn. Just a little bit of special attack though for that extra fun Heat Wave, and just go for a Hurricane, as he brought in the Heatran, and Heatran is definitely going to take that. So I'm scared of the Heatran knocking me out, but I'm just going to go for another Hurricane. Might as well, since I do have the webs up. Diancie is going to go in pretty much. Like, Diancie is not that scared of his Pokemon when I have the webs up. So unfortunately I missed a Hurricane right there. I mean, I don't think it would have knocked out the Heatran. It doesn't matter. But I am able to bring in Gyarados, so I don't have to bring in Diancie, and I'm able to just go for a Dragon Dance. He hasn't lost Pokemon yet, but he's definitely going to start losing some Pokemon after I go for some Dragon Dance. He does go for the Toxic, unfortunately misses right there, so that is terrible. I didn't expect him to have Toxic too. Like, I thought he would be with Protect, Magma Storm, Stealth Rock, and Earth Power, so turns out he is walled by Toxapex, which is fine. Toxic is ran for Volcarona and other things in general. It's just that I didn't expect it. I thought with Magma Storm you would be Earth Power. Most of the time I see like Lava Plume with Toxic. So that's where my head was at the time. So I'm very lucky that he missed the Toxic right there. Very fortunate. Because I'm able to just Dragon Dance up and just go in on his team. He does make a nice play trying to predict the Flying Z right there. Maybe if he's able to live a hit with his Tangrowth. But I'd highly doubt it, because I am Moxie and it's just going to do way too much damage. Like, it's not going to live a bounce. Unless he gets lucky and I miss. That could be something. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. Hopefully. You don't know yet. So then comes Tangrowth. Max HP as possible that it can come in on, and he's just going to pray that he can, you know, dodge a bounce, I guess. Because he's not going to be able to take a bounce from a Gyarados at +2. That's just impossible. Maybe he's just going to hope that I choke and go for a Dragon Dance or Waterfall. But he does switch out right there. Not wanting the Tangrowth to take the bounce. It goes into Landorus T. Landorus T is going to go downtown. I know it's not Choice Scarf too, so it does live, actually, with a Sliver, but I can just go for Waterfall afterwards and safely knock out the Landos. So Gyarados is going to go in on Joey, unless I miss, like I said. But he does bring in Pinsir. Pinsir at least can quick attack me, but Gyarados has a lot of HP at this point, and is just not going to be able to do it with, even with the critical hit, it's just not going to be able to do it. So Gyarados doing it big. Gyarados is very, very scary and threatening Pokemon. Like, unless you have something that can be taking a bounce, Waterfall, and Earthquake, like maybe a Rotom Wash, something like that, or maybe even a Celesteela, but Celesteela doesn't appreciate taking a Waterfall, even at +1, but it can Leech Seed, stuff like that. But most Gyarados, they do carry Taunt and even Substitute, so it'd be tough to try and wall it, like with a Toxapex or something like that, because they can just taunt your Haze. They can, I mean, you do risk getting Scald Burn, but what if they have Substitute? So it's just iffy. That's why Scarf Kartana is a lot of the Gyarados kind of checks, or even Scarf Lando with Explosion. Like, that's what you see most of the time to kind of take care of a Gyarados, but sometimes you couple Gyarados with screens, and it's just harder to even deal with that. So Gyarados is definitely a menace in the OU tier. So Joey's team, like, it kind of get demolished by Flying Z, especially when I get webs up if he's going to be Scarf Lele. So he forfeited right there. I mean, he didn't want to try and dodge the bounce with his Tangrowth. I mean, maybe he could have, but anyways, this is going to be the next game versus Diddy, and Diddy has a very scary team. I always hate playing against Reuniclus because Reuniclus always got some shenanigan with it. It got like Z-move, it got acid armor, it always has something up its sleeve, and it's just going to be like, alright, how am I going to deal with Reuniclus once it starts like setting up? I gotta like maybe keep Araquanid to leech life it, something like that, because other than that, once it starts setting up, it's going to be very, very hard to deal with. Maybe I can flinch it down with Ironhead, maybe Z-move it with Gyarados, but he also has Mega Mawile to always claim a life on my team. I have no switching to Mega Mawile at all. Like, Mega Mawile and Reuniclus combined together, it's very hard to deal with. So I'll try my best. I'll lead off with Tornadus as he leads off with the Tapu Bulu. Pretty good matchup for me because Tapu Bulu obviously does not want to take a Hurricane. He can't do much unless he's going to be maybe Choice Bandit Stone Edge, and he dodges a Hurricane, but you know he's risking Flying Z, all that jazz. So I go for a knockoff either way because maybe I can get rid of an item on his team. That'd be really crucial. But he goes into Mawile, and you know it's Mega Mawile, so I can't knock off anything, and he just regains all that damage that it just did to him. So over here, I make a risky play, just going to go for the Heat Wave. I do get one-shotted by the Play Rough. Unfortunately, I missed the Heat Wave right there, and he misses Play Rough. So awesome turn right there. Nothing happened, but I at least would have gotten the damage off on Mawile, where maybe it could get knocked out by an Earthquake in grass terrain. Like, that was the goal right there. I mean, Tornadus would have went down, but hey, at least I still would have done some damage to Mawile. But at least he would have knocked out my Torn. But he switches into Heat Train, gets that boosty boost with the Heat Wave, and I just stay in to taunt him because I expected Stealth Rocks, but he Lava Plume burns me right there. So yeah, not a good turn right there for me. Still, not out of the game. I'm going to bring in Diancie, kind of predicting maybe him to go for a Lava Plume again, maybe Stealth Rocks, but he makes a nice play going to the Mawile. I do kind of expect the Mawile not to go for Ironhead, and maybe I could live a Play Rough, and I can get some chip damage off with the Earth Power. So that's the plan right there, but he makes a safe play going to Lando, maybe predicting the Earth Power right there, and maybe he doesn't want to get critical hit as well. Like, that could be a thing. So I bring in Lando on his Lando, pretty much just like as a safe pivot. Even if he goes for Hidden Power Ice, I could take that. I mean, Lando. What is your answer to Lando? Lando. So he brings in the Greninja as I go for a U-turn. That is very beautiful damage, almost one-shotting it. I guess he didn't expect me to U-turn right there, unless he thinks that I'm actually a bulky Lando, which, I mean, looking at my team, what else is my Stealth Rocker? Diancie, which is actually my Stealth Rocker, so he was probably expecting that. So I bring in Magearna on this Gren, and unfortunately, I get frozen right there, and I'm just like, oh, man, that is terrible for me. Magearna is literally there just for the Greninja, but turns out he is grounding Z, and I make a nice play going into Lando, which I kind of expected because, like, looking at his team, I was like, what is this Z-mover? Trying to put the pieces together, and it turns out he is Protean Greninja, so I was like, okay, it's probably Z-move, grounding Z, Gren. I run into that a lot in the ladder, so kind of expecting it to be, and I got the play right there. So obviously he's going to be scared of Scarf Lando since he saw a U-turn, and he expects me to be Scarf Lando. He's going to switch out his Gren into Landorus T as, you know, like I said, what's your switching to Lando? Lando. Unless you got like Hidden Power Ice or Fly Z or Explosion, then maybe you can take it. But I brought in Diancie, and I'm going to switch back to Lando because I don't want to take an Earthquake. Maybe I could bait him to go for an Earthquake, and I don't know, bringing in my Lando, I can get some initiative because I actually do have Hidden Power Ice on my Lando, so maybe I can do something to his Lando. But it doesn't happen because he brings the Tapu Bulu, making a safe play, going for U-turn. So Tapu Bulu is a little bit of a problem, but at least I still have my Tornadus, which is burnt. But still, I can still bring it in and Hurricane in, so that's the plan. He does go for a mean Swords Dance, and that is going to be terrifying because if I don't knock him out with a Hurricane, I don't know if I can live this +2 Horn Leech. That is bad to blow back my Tornadus. Like, Tapu Bulus are mainly Swords Dance with max special defense. Like, you do run into a lot of variations of Tapu Bulu because Tapu Bulu is a very versatile Pokemon, but most of the time, especially defensive with Leftover, Swords Dance, Superpower, and Protect, maybe Synthesis. I mean, me personally, I like Banded Bulu because you just click Woodhammer and things drop. And with the Scarf Kartana, it's really nice. So, let's go for the Hurricane. Luckily, I did not miss, but it does not knock out the Spadef Bulu. Man, that thing is so bulky. I used it in a draft league, and it is just one of the best Pokemon to have as a support mod. Even if it's 4 times weak to poison, you just slap a Kebia Berry on there, and you know you live any poison move, hopefully. So unfortunately, I'm burnt from that Lava Plume earlier, and I go down to the burn. I would have actually beat it 1v1, but since I was burnt, I don't. So I bring in Gyarados. He is going to be scared of the Fly Z, obviously, because what else will be my Z mover? I mean, you expect Magearna to be a Soul Vest, Lando to be Scarf. Rocky Helmet Torn. What else would it be? Maybe Rapid Z move? Yeah. So I go for Dragon Dance, as in came Lando, and Lando does scare me with the explosion. I want to try and maybe bait that, so I'm going to switch into my Lando over here, as he should maybe be scared of my Gyarados, you know, sweeping him, so he should go for, like, Explosion or Stone Edge. Turns out he's Stone Edge, which kind of sucks for me because, you know, he would lose his Lando if he went for Explosion, and I would maybe have a better chance of sweeping him with Gyarados. So I go for U-turn, as he was locked into Stone Edge most likely, and that's not going to do anything to my Lando, so I'm pretty free to go for a U-turn and take advantage of that. Maybe if I can go into Magearna, unthaw it, or DNC, but, you know, he switched out. And I brought in Rockwind as he brought in Tapu Bulu, and I was like, okay, maybe I could beat this 1v1 with Horn. Well, he goes for Horn Leech. Maybe I could beat it 1v1 with Leech Life. That's a possibility, but, man, that Horn Leech is just doing too much damage, and Araquanid is just not going to be able to regain as much HP as I would want and dish out enough attack, because Araquanid doesn't have the best attack, funny enough. It has only 70 base attack. It just seems like it has a lot more attack because of its ability Water Bubble and, you know, making Water Power 2 times more effective. So he makes a smart play going for the Swords Dance, ready to break through my team. Since the Magearna is frozen, I can't switch it in on this and Iron Head it. Like, that would probably be my play, like, since I lost Tornadus to it. Unfortunately, you know, 10% chance, it just happens. It's Pokemon, so I'm going to try and thaw out over here with Magearna. I don't want to lose my Araquanid just yet, because if I don't have to, you know, that'd be great. And I don't take much from Horn Leech, but he's regaining so much HP from Leftovers, Grass Terrain, Horn Leech. It's just, Tapu Bulu is such an annoying mod when your Pokemon are just incapable of dealing with it. So, he is going to be able to outspeed me, because most Solvest Magearnas, they don't run a lot of speed at all. They run, in fact, Sassy Nature, which is minus speed, since you do want to have, you know, max attack Iron Head power. And Magearna does have decent attack all around. Like, its stats are amazing, except for speed. So, unfortunately, I don't thaw out, and I don't get enough chip to knock out Bulu with anything, and down it goes. Maybe I could have Iron Headed, crit Iron Head, something like that. But I still have a way, which is Gyarados. So, gonna go into Gyarados over here. And I do want to predict him to predict me to go for the Fly Z, so I go for Waterfall, but unfortunately I got the wrong call, and he goes for a Horn Leech. Luckily I do live that, because I guess his Bulu is running like 0 attack, which makes sense. Most of them are max speed up. I mean, he took that Hurricane from Tornadus, so it makes sense. I do go for the Fly Z here as he goes for Protect, so he got me right there again. Unfortunately, I was really hoping that he would be scared of the Fly Z the first time, because I could just get rid of his Bulu, and that'd be amazing for me, and maybe later on I can potentially Dragon Dance up and do some work. But since Gyarados is weakened to the point where it can't really set up on anything, and I can't knock out Bulu, I just go for the Waterfall. Like, I was just like pretty much done. I was like, maybe I can go for a flinch here and two, because even if I go for a bounce, he goes to protect on my bounce, so I can never break through. And also, bounce only has 8 PP, so he can literally just protect 8 times every time, single time I go for bounce. Like, you can just see when I go for bounce. It's like Fly. So yeah, if only Gyarados learned Fly, maybe I could have more PP and kind of play around the protects, something like that. Maybe stall it to protects. I don't know. So I go to Araquanid. Maybe I could crit. He actually might have choked right there, because what if I critically Leech Lifed him? But I mean, he has all his Pokemon in the back, so maybe he just knew that the game was over. He didn't need his Bulu anymore. Critical hits me, which I don't think mattered, because he was really high up with this attack. I don't know, maybe it was like a +4 at that point. So it should be able to easily one-shot Araquanid. Even though I am max HP Araquanid, it should be able to. So I'm gonna still try, you know, never give up. At least try. And maybe I could crit his Tapu Bulu with Moonblast. I highly doubt even a crit would knock out Bulu. And yeah, it's just not going to be able to do enough. And he just knocks me out the Horn Leech. And he just regains back all his HP. So down goes my Mega Diancie. So unfortunately, I did get a little bit hacks. But hey, that's Pokemon. It happens. Like, you know, it does suck. But it's whatever. Because nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. So you got to bring in Lando. Maybe get some chip leftovers. I don't know. Intimidate. Tapu Bulu is just going to protect and get some more leftovers with his protect and just stay out of range from anything I could ever go for. And I just go for U-turn. That's like literally the only thing I could go for that could potentially hit everything on his team. But I actually lived the Horn Leech, which is pretty impressive. Lando T, defensive. It's insane. Like, we're actually running a lot of HP and defense on the Lando. It's pretty insane. Like, no attack EVs at all. I kind of don't like hidden power ice on the Lando, though. Maybe you guys would want to change that to explosion, but it makes sense since we're running a defensive Lando. You know, you don't want to run like Stone Edge or Explosion because you're probably not even going to knock out Pokemon with no attack EVs. But still, it's pretty nice with HP Ice. Like maybe you can catch a Gliscor off guard if it's weekend, or a Landel T. Zygarde's gone, so I think this team was made when Zygarde was around. Either way. So, yeah, that is going to be it for the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a little bit since I've been uploading some Wifi Battles. I mean, I've been uploading the Draft League battles, but it's been a while since I uploaded a raw OU battle. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Show some love on that like button. And yeah, that is it. So I'll try to upload every single day for the Wifi Battles. It's been busy. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.